Good morning, Meridian, and welcome to Business Buzz. Today, I'm here at Mathnasium in Meridian, and joining me is Dan Hintz. Dan, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Sean. Good morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dan, math was my worst subject in school. Unless you put dollar signs in front of it, I didn't get it. And my mom was even a teacher. So can you tell me how Mathnasium could have helped me?
Yeah, I happened to live overseas. I was in the Air Force and knew I wanted to be a math teacher someday. But living in Europe and Asia and throughout different US states, I realized that math was the easiest subject out of the countries and our hardest subject for most people. And so I dug into why that was when I retired and started teaching high school math and private tutoring. And it's pretty simple. Other cultures emphasize math as much as language. We tend to emphasize language a lot more. So parents raising their toddlers are doing math as much as, say, reading and art with their toddlers. So kids develop a fluency pre-K, a fluency foundation, and a joy of doing numbers before they ever get to school. What's interesting is there's far less to numbers than there is to a language. And so they get better at math.
Okay. Building that foundation.
Yeah,
So.
and Mathnasium uniquely goes clear back to that foundation and builds that fluency, which leads to confidence, and then fills in all the math gaps from the bottom up. In school, teachers don't have time to go back and fill in those gaps. And we do that. We can help you with the current schoolwork, but we'll go back and fill in the foundation and then fill in all those gaps.
Yeah. So how does Mathnasium differ from other tutoring or traditional tutoring programs?
So Mathnasium was built by a teacher who taught for 20 years and realized that most American students are full of math holes, gaps in their learning. When you're teaching or tutoring, you're often just working on the current age, the grade that the student's in. And that's just like working on bricks of a brick wall in the top row when there's a lot of missing bricks. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The bricks aren't going to stay. And that's why we forget what we're trying to learn. Mathnasium can help you with your current work, but meanwhile, go back and fill those in. Mathnasium uniquely, thoroughly finds and fills all the gaps. Other teachers, parents, tutors, anyone trying to help kids are mainly helping with the top thing. And then, okay, I see that you don't know fractions. Let me help you with that. Sort of randomly discovering and filling in math gaps. We thoroughly find and fill gaps in from the bottom up in the right math learning order. So kids get permanent math skill and confidence.
Yeah. So what ages does your program serve?
Really any age, primarily school age kids come in here, and we like them old enough to read.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about the math learning centers that the program has and how they benefit from learning in this type of environment.
Yeah, so Mathnasium is a pretty big company. It's 1,100 centers. It's in 10 countries. So it's all over. It's pretty convenient. In Treasure Valley, we have 4 now. So in the centers, we do operate in our sort of main learning program. We're like a math academy, a math learning program. And we do operate in a similar way of many of these learning centers. What learning centers have come to realize is if you have 30 students in a class with one teacher, that teacher does not have the time to go help every single student as much as they need. The opposite challenge is if you're doing one-on-one tutoring all the time, that student becomes very enabled, very dependent on you. So in a 4-to-1 environment, like you can see, we've got 4 chairs. We'll have one instructor with 4 students. And if I take the time and help a student, I'll explain it and then have them demonstrate they know how. As soon as I see they know how, I need to turn my attention away from them and work with another student. That encourages them to try it on their own for a while. And that's just about the right ratio. It's sort of the sweet spot.
Yeah.
4-to-1.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the results a parent can expect when putting their child in a Mathnasium program.
The main result is permanent skill and permanent life-changing confidence in the student, academic self-confidence, which also leads to higher future aspirations. If you just go look at the website, you'll see what parents have said across the nation. And it's all in the high 90s for parent satisfaction, student satisfaction, student progress, measured results. It's all just in the numbers. But we just make measured change and improvement in the student, and their skill and their confidence comes up.
Okay. Well, Dan, what's the best way for parents to find out more about the Mathnasium program and how it can be beneficial to their student learner?
Yeah, you bet. You can definitely go to the website and do any kinds of looking around or asking around. Mathnasium is well known in the Treasure Valley now, but I would really recommend that you just call us at the center. We are so flexible. We're not just this format that we've discussed, this 4-to-1 ratio. We literally can and do flex to every situation. We can do one-on-one in the center. We can also come to your home and do one-on-one in the home. We can meet you in a local library. And so we're just really, really flexible. We want to discover your goals. What are you after for your student? And then we can meet them. So it's best to call.
Yeah. Well, Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
I wish you were there when I was a young kid.
They all say that.
Yeah, they all say that.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us today. We do have some upcoming events that you can join us here at the Chamber with. April 13th, be sure and join us out at Discovery Park for our Field of Dreams softball scholarship tournament. It's going to be a fun afternoon of watching some softball games and raising money for our scholarships. We also have coming up our after hours on April 18th. That after hours is going to be here at the Sheridan Home and Patio. So be sure and come out and join us for that free event. And then registration is open for the Meridian Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. They'll be held May 8th. So be sure and get your tickets and join us for that morning breakfast. Thank you very much and have a great weekend, Meridian.